Hello again and welcome back to the channel. So today I am checking out the entire 14th wave, can you believe it, 14 waves in already, of the Masters of the Universe Origins line. I picked these up from Mad Zombie, my local toy/comic store here in Adelaide. I paid around $40 per figure for them, which is a little bit high considering that I've now learned you can get them at Toy World for $25, but they are harder to find in Toy World and it looks like Big W aren't getting them at all. We did get some Wave 13 and Wave 12 earlier than we expected, and it seems to be the case here, so that's really good news for collectors in Australia. But prior to that, we just don't have great distribution here. So if you can't find these figures in your local toy store and you are in Adelaide, check out Mad Zombie. I'll put a link in the description. When I was in there yesterday, the lady said that she had stacks of them, so don't delay, they certainly won't last. So taking a look at this wave, we've got Squeeze, Spycore, the Serpent Claw Man-at-Arms, and then the Snake Man Infiltrator. Taking a closer look at the packaging, this is nothing we haven't seen before. They have the Snake Man motif across the top. Squeeze is obviously a Snake Man. He's not a character that I was too familiar with as a kid. When I saw him released in this line, I kind of had some memories of him, but not really. We'll take a look at the Easter eggs in just a moment on the artwork. Spycore, this was a figure that I thought should have been released a little bit earlier. I can't really explain why I thought that. I just think that he and Mossman, they feel like more mainstay characters, and I don't know why we had to wait so long for them, but glad to see him in the line. Unfortunately, Mossman is a Walmart exclusive. Got no hope of getting him over here at all, so that's a big shame. He was my favourite character as a kid, but he's retailing for about $150 Australian, so unfortunately I've just got no chance of getting him. But I am pleased that I've got Spycore. He doesn't have the Snake Man motif because he is just part of Skeletor's cronies. And then the Serpent Claw Man-at-Arms, I believe this is a unique variant of Man-at-Arms. I don't know that we've had this guy before, correct me if I'm wrong. Again, Snake Man sticker here, and then Master of the Universe Snake Man motif across the top. And then finally, the Snake Man Infiltrator. Now, originally, when I ordered this from the Big Bad Toy Store before I cancelled it, I only ordered one because I assumed he was in the box, like the Palace Guard, and I thought, wow, I can always put him back in the box. But when I learned he was on the bubble, I ordered two. It's redundant now anyway, because I've now got two. Picked up this one, as I said, from Mad Zombie, and then I managed to get one for $25 from Toy World as well, so pretty chuffed with that. So let's open them up and take a look. So here they are out of the packaging with all of their accessories. Before we get started, they all do come with the same mini comic, the Fading Fortress. If you'd like to read it, you can just pause it and have a cheeky little read. And let's take a look at the card art. So I do like to cut out the card art and keep it. They're just in a drawer at the moment, but I'm sure I'll do something with them one day. I think it's just such nice artwork. So this is for Squeeze, and then obviously we can see Extendor here, who was revealed at the San Diego Comic-Con, and then Rio Blast. We haven't seen him yet, but I'm sure we're going to get him. And then moving on to the Man-at-Arms. Here is a figure. I don't know who that is. Could be a new figure. I'm sure we'll probably get someone like that. Spycore, another shot of Extendor, and then one of the Rock Lords. Not sure which one that is, but we did see one of them revealed again at the San Diego Comic-Con, so we know that those are on the way. And then finally here is the Snake Men Infiltrators. So there is the same version of Man-at-Arms we have here. And then just in the corner there, not sure who that is. If anyone knows, let me know in the comments. is that possibly a figure that we're going to get? So let's take a look at Squeeze first. It's quite an intriguing figure for obvious reasons. He does have a real nice aesthetic to him. I quite like the orange, the purple and the green. I think it works quite well. The arms, I was super impressed. I thought they'd just be rubber arms that you wouldn't be able to do anything with, but there's actually a very thin rod, like a wire rather, in the arm, so you can actually manipulate it. That's really cool. Did not expect that at all. Like I said, I just thought you'd have to have him on the shelf or posed up with his arms just tucked behind him, but no, you can actually flex these arms. And then he comes with this, I don't think we've seen this yet, this serpent, like a staff, I guess it is. And I thought, no, he's not going to be able to hold it, but he can actually hold it too. You have to go right up towards the thicker part of the snake's neck, but you can see that he does actually hold that. One thing that he doesn't do, and it will come as no surprise, is he doesn't stand up. Well, he doesn't stand up without leaning on his arms anyway. But fortunately, I do have some surplus stands. So if you pop him on a stand, yeah, he stands up really well. I am running out of room in the display, so I'm not sure how I'm going to rearrange them to accommodate this guy, but he is pretty cool. There we are. Okay, so next let's take a look at Spycore. Now, as I said in the introduction, I was a little bit surprised that Spycore wasn't released a bit earlier. It's almost like they forgot about him. Him and Mossman to me just seem like main characters. Now, I'm sure that's not the case. In fact, I'm pretty sure Mossman was released in a much later wave, like in the later 80s. I did have Mossman as a kid. As I said, he was my favourite figure, and really disappointed that I'm not going to be able to get him, but I am very pleased that I've got Spycore. Spycore was a figure I didn't have as a kid, at least not that I can recall. I did have a friend that lived across the road when I was growing up, and he was an only child, and he had every single figure I can think of, and I am absolutely certain he had Spycore. And one thing that I do remember when I was a kid was the action feature with the trident. This was like a spring-loaded feature. For the Origins version, they've just given us a swap-out reduced version, and I don't mind that. You can just pop it out, put it in. Now, I know some collectors and fans, they prefer those original action features, and I can understand that. But I think the modular gimmick is just, it just works better. You can interchange them, you know. It's, for me, these are display pieces. It's just a touch of nostalgia that I have it in my collection. So it's not something I'm actually going to be playing with. So I've got no issue with them not having the action features at all. He also comes with this very hefty club, quite some weight to it as well. Yeah, it's not rubbery like the rest of the figure. His head is like this soft rubber, and the body as well, a little bit more rubbery. This is a figure that it just has some appeal, you know, the look, the deep purple, the lighter purple, the reds. He just looks quite menacing. The club fits into his hand very easily. He stands up really well, so he doesn't need a stand. I do actually have the Masterverse Spycore as well for a quick comparison. Now, I don't collect this line anymore. It's just something I can't really get into. I don't have the room, and I just can't afford to collect so many waves. But I did like them as they were going, and I really like to see these older figures increased in size in this Masterverse line. Some of the later figures, like particularly Whiplash in the New Eternia line, not really a fan of that. There's nothing really there that's going to bring me back, possibly in the future, but we'll see. But this for me is the Spycore that I'll have in my display. So next up is the Serpent Claw Man-at-Arms. Now, this is essentially just a repainted Man-at-Arms. You know, we didn't expect anything different. There are, however, some differences. Notably, the armor is a bit different. If you look at vanilla Man-at-Arms, there are some sort of differences. He has these raised portions around the mouthguard that the vanilla one doesn't have, and also this new sculpting, which looks like it should be fur around the arms. The original one didn't have that. Wonder why they didn't paint that, because it does look to me like it should have been fur. They didn't paint it, but Oh wow. But apart from that, everything else is pretty much the same. He has the same wrist guard, the same shoulder piece, but it's in silver, and then the same shin guard as well. It even comes with the same club, it's just in a metallic silver. Everything else is pretty much the same. No paintwork on the helmet though. And there are some differences. You can see that the sculpting is different. So these yellow raised portions, he doesn't have them on this one. It does look like the skin tone is ever so subtly darker for the newer version. But the big difference obviously is this cool new claw. I think that actually comes out, yep, it does come out. And you can just get that straight onto his arm. There we are. And then give him his mace in the other one. There we are. So at least we've got two different versions of Man-at-Arms. I would have preferred to have seen 2000X Man-at-Arms, but no big deal. We know that we're getting the Filmation version, so pretty chuffed about that. I'm really actually quite excited about the Filmation line. They looked so cool in the reveal at San Diego. I just hope that the distribution is going to be better than the first few waves of the Origin lines. But here we are, a Serpent Claw Man-at-Arms. Not a bad figure. And this is different as well, you can see. Yeah, not too bad. And then finally, we have the Snake Man Infiltrator. So this will come as no surprise that it is a direct repaint of the Palace Guard. There are some very subtle differences, but not many at all. The biggest difference is this accessory. So we've seen this with a bunch of the other Snake Men figures in various different colors now. So here we're getting it in silver. The staff or halberd is pretty much the same. And in the figure itself, you can see that there is obviously some distinctions. Darker green for the serpent, also there's no red on the belt. Darker brown. The orange is a little bit duller, it's almost like a very dull bronze. Also the eagle on the Palace Guard is highlighted in a bronze, and it's just a flat orange on this one. But the biggest difference obviously is what's lurking underneath. So while this guy looks like he's just bored to tears guarding the palace, this guy looks like he's been out on the sauce all night. Have a look at those eyes, really deep red. So yeah, this is obviously the evil guy. I actually thought that he's... Let's just take that off for a second. Don't want to break it, but I felt like the chin guard moved just then. Yeah, it did. Don't want to break it. There's definitely something under there. Like, yeah, there's definitely a sculpt under there. There we go. Oh, look at that. There we go. That's pretty cool. I had no idea about that. So does that mean that this guy has it as well? Has he been sitting on my shelf for months and I didn't know? Yeah. Yeah, look at that. I had no idea about that. So I'm pretty sure these are the same sculpts, but obviously just repainted. But yeah, I don't mind. We know what we're getting with the Origin figures. So just a bit of fun. Darker colour here for the serpent. Yeah, so there we are. Yeah, let's keep that up, otherwise your cover will be blown, mate. Nope, that's not him. It's this one, here we go. So I guess the question is, will you display him with your heroic warriors or with the evil guys? For me, it all comes down to which side of the shelf has more room. But yeah, they look pretty cool together. Yeah, Not bad. So my final thoughts on the Masters of the Universe Origins Wave 14. This is a pretty solid wave. It is essentially 2 repaints and 2 new figures, but the 2 new figures are really quite cool. Spycore is a personal favourite of mine, but it's Squeeze that's the standout here for me. He is a goofy looking figure, but he's a pretty cool figure. The inclusion of the wires in the arms is just a nice touch. Unfortunately, he doesn't stand up without a stand, but he looks really cool, and I'm sure you could manipulate him to stand up on those arms. He's going to take up a little bit of extra room on the shelf, but it's really not a big deal. In fact, he might be my favourite Snake Man so far. There's something quite charming about him. The other 2 figures, as I said, they are just repaints, but they're also nice inclusions, and Mattel have been doing repaints since the 80s, so it's not really a big deal. When it comes to price, I think that $40 is too much for these figures. I think $25 to $30 Australian dollars is more of the sweet spot, but you know, that's just how it is. I am all in on this line. I've been collecting them since Wave 1, but I think I'm ready to see the end of it. Not because I'm tired of it, but because I'm more excited to see where Mattel are going with their new Filmation line. Seems that we've only got a few figures that are left, Extendor, Cyclone and a few others. So whilst I've really enjoyed collecting these, and I have got almost every figure, unfortunately I don't think I'll ever get the elusive Duplico or the massively overpriced Mossman. I do have most of the others and I'm really pleased with that. But as I said, I'm really excited to see what Mattel do with that new Filmation line. Are they going to go a bit deeper? Are they going to go with 2000X? Are they going to release the new Revelations in this size? Who knows? But what I've seen at the San Diego Comic-Con is all good so far. So this was just a very light review, but I certainly hope that you've enjoyed it. Please do consider subscribing and giving it a like if you have. And until next time, take care.